Well, it's nice to see everyone back here. I bring you this news. I didn't really know anything about this game when I first heard about it. I think a friend of mine saw it and said it looked cool, and then I decided to play the demo. This is part of the game that is going to be fully available next week. And I didn't really see anything about its gameplay or whatever. I think the most of it I saw was somebody getting a parry, and I thought to myself, yeah, that kind of looks like the Pinocchio game, so I'm gonna give this one a shot. And I gotta say, it's fun. I got some things to say about it, but it is fun. That's the first and foremost thing you should really take away from this. This game is a lot of fun. It lets you move around a bunch. It lets you shoot enemies with an axe and a pistol, and it lets you do a lot of things. And trying to summarize everything you can do in one sentence is it's really hard. We'll get to it. So, who made this game? This game is made by A44 Games, the same studio who made Ashen? Yeah, you remember Ashen? It was like a cooperative Souls game? Well, they're back with a new Souls game. I struggle to say Souls game because it's really not a Souls game. Published by Kepler Interactive, the same publisher who published such wonderful classics as Scorn. And who could forget Cat Quest 3? Okay, I joke, but they have published some pretty outstanding games in the past, including, and not limited to, Sifu, one of my all-time favorite games. A44 at least have some experience making a Souls game. Kepler Interactive is weird because I always feel like they release a mixed bag of games. Either it's pretty good, it's really good, it's weird and artistic, or it's just kind of meh. I feel like Flintlock is somewhere in the middle. It hits kind of every aspect of meh, artistic, good, bad, iCarly. Now, my excitement for this game mostly comes from the fact that you can do a lot in this game. Like, a lot. You have a lot of options as a character. You start off the game only learning the basics. You can attack with your axe, you can parry, and you can shoot your gun. Surely, they'll become much more interesting as you learn to progress them, and okay. After we lose to the first boss of the game, don't worry, it's scripted, you're supposed to. We get to talk to this weird purple fox thing, and he's like, hey man, world's fucked up, and he gives us more abilities. Okay, now you have even more things you can do. Okay, I'm gonna get back to this in a second. First, let me swerve over to what's going on in the story real quick. It's a standard Soul story as time itself. You're like an individual with slightly extraordinary god-killing abilities. You gotta go kill a bunch of gods, and once you do that, you can relight the fire or something. I don't know. There you go. That's every Dark Souls game. Please give me an award. But it has all the Souls-isms you can think of. It has bonfires. It has the ability to rest and regain your healing items at the bonfire, the ability to level up at bonfires, and even has souls. Sorry, I meant reputation. It's always so funny to me when these other games try to name their souls something else. Like, we know what they are, guys. You can use this renown to level up certain abilities and unlock skills and that do things. Oh boy, that's a big skill tree. They said in interviews they wanted to make another Souls game, but this one is a lot. It's a lot more than what a Souls game would normally be. It includes elements of God of War and Elden Ring? God of War and Elden Ring are the biggest iterations? Not Sekiro or Bloodborne, the two games that you definitely took elements of from Elden Ring? Okay. The gameplay of the game is mostly in how you control Nor and all the actions she decides to engage with in combat. Enemies themselves are actually very simplistic. They don't do a whole lot, but it's only the first area of the game, so I'm giving it a pass on simplistic enemies to really teach you how to fight. However, Nor has a ton of abilities, and sometimes it kind of overwhelmed me with how much she can do. Okay, so what can Nor actually do? Well, Nor can attack enemies, she can parry enemies, and she can't parry red attacks. And red attacks you will have to counter with your gun, which you have limited ammo for, but you get more ammo as you attack more. Okay, sounds straightforward enough so far. Pretty decent balance of mechanics, and then eventually you run into this purple fox who gives you the ability to double jump and double dodge, I guess, and then you're gonna start running to enemies with gray health. Gray health means you're barely dealing any damage to them unless you guard break them, and the way to guard break them is you have to apply purple jelly in order for them to be guard broken, and then you get this really long rifle and okay, I'm running out of breath. You see what I mean? No Souls game has this amount of functionality. Like, both Sekiro parries and Bloodborne counters? That's wild. Playing as Nor can be really fun, intoxicating even, but once you really figure out the combat, dunking on enemies becomes quite trivial sometimes. Downright goofy even. At least to me, someone who is experienced in Soulsian combat and has been around the block a few times. So it's weird that this is a direction that they decided to go with it, because it reminds me more of a different kind of game. You know, like Devil May Cry. Okay, I kid, but like, while it isn't a character action game, I hope you can see that it shares a eerie amount of DNA with them. I wish there was a name for these kind of games, because it's not quite a character action game, it's not quite a Souls-like, but it like borrows elements from them. But like, you've seen it with like God of War and Jedi Fallen Order, and it's like, I don't know, can we call it like generic slop action or something? I don't know, the game feels like it lacks enough Soulsian features to be called a Souls game, but it also lacks enough character action game features to be called a character action game. The reputation system does work eerily similar to a style ranking. I mean, come on, you can slide for bonus points. Just remember, kids, if you need more reputation at school, just slide around. It always works. And the game is not really helped out by its story. The way I can describe this story is someone's first attempt at writing a revenge fic. You start the story off and they introduce you to the characters at play, but I have no idea who these characters are. Okay, the main character, Nor. The game doesn't really describe her in any outstanding way, but she is considered a demolitions expert, which I didn't get until I read her bio on the website. Then I still don't know anything about her other than she likes explosions. Does she have any hobbies other than the stupid fucking coin game that I'm gonna treat like Caravan and Fallout and choose to ignore for the rest of the game? And then you have Baz, who functionally repairs and upgrades your weapons and is her adoptive dad, but doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. And you have Enki, who is supposed to be mysterious and enigmatic. So there's not a lot on him on purpose, so I can give that one a slide. But like, you have this large cast of characters you get introduced to real quick. This other guy, Halson? I don't know what he is to her. I don't know who this guy is. They don't really clarify. There's barely any banter to support his connection to her. What is he? Is he her brother? Her lover? The both? They don't explain, but he dies in like the prologue, and that fuels Nor's revenge towards gods and her will to destroy them all, and it's like, okay. I mean, geez, game, take a moment to breathe. At least let me get attached to these characters before you fucking kill them all off. Normally, I would say this is fine, because it's a demo and you want to get into the meat of the action as quickly as possible, but I'm more worried that this is the story as they're presenting it, and if that's the case, this is very bare bones. So does that mean, with all these observations, is the game, like, bad or something? Nah, I'm not expecting high art or anything from this game. I'm quite enjoying myself shooting these goons in the head. It doesn't have to be insanely good or anything. So far, it's got me captured and captivated. And now, let's get down to the big important question. Is Flintlock Siege of Dawn good? Well, if you enjoy foxes, if you enjoy female protagonists, if you like having a Sekiro parry and a Bloodborne counter in the same game, a kind of bare bones story, and maybe just a little bit of feature bloating. If you're a big Flintlock enthusiast, if you enjoy kind of weirdly linear level design, I would say give it a chance. The demo's free, the game is coming to Game Pass as far as I'm aware, and if you've gone through the other like 10 more billion Souls-likes that are out on the market already and you want something new, sure, go ahead. Maybe I'm wrong about the game and they'll fix a lot of the problems on release. It's also a game that sells below market value, which is a great thing to say about games nowadays. Hey, you know what? I think I know the best way to fix this game. What you gotta do is you want to give Enki a power-up that turns him into a horse, and he's gonna do this. That'll make the game perfect.